This is Madam Speaker, and we're talking about the Budget Address 2019. We're going to get closing comments from my panel and from my jury. Tanya, maybe we start with you. Ange was basically saying there isn't enough coordination between government and business. You would argue otherwise, but how could they be doing their work together with you as partners invested in this economy together better?
So it is certainly improving, and I think what we really see a need for is a very structured, coordinated process, because we're engaging at multiple levels, we're crossing over, and different parties are engaging on different things, and there's a relationship between them. We think that there needs to be a proper bilateral, structured, ongoing arrangement where agreements are set and they're monitored.
Don't speak in parables. Tell me straight, how would that happen?
It is a bilateral structure. It is, I mean, if you think about the mess that has happened in SARS, it happened because government officials had the hand of the private sector. You know what I mean? If we think about what happened at Eskom with the big consulting firms that destroyed that company, it was government officials and the private sector. So there's clearly a working relationship there. It may not be working for everybody.
It's not the kind of relationship.
But exactly the point. And I'm trying to raise the point about what it is that we keep saying about how government and the private sector should work together. Because much of what the government does actually has come back from us in the private sector. Myself, for example, who is a consulting economist from the private sector, will go and tell government, it's not as if we were not participating in GEAR and all the policies that government. They didn't sit there in the corner, including BE charters. They didn't sit in the corner and do them by themselves. They did them because the private sector, including ourselves, were helping them do that thing. And then everybody keeps saying, well, let's wait for the private sector. And then the private sector also says, let's wait for the government to stay out.
So
at some point, we should.
So I think what we're seeing is a really good initiative at the moment between sectors, where sectors are engaging directly with government on sector issues. And then what we need to do is have a very structured platform for engagement with business as a whole on macroeconomic cross-cutting issues such as investment, such as skills and education, such as export demand, those types of issues where we really bottom out the key challenges.
Yeah, but what's happening?
NEDLAC is a four-party, so that definitely has a role, and we need to use it, but it's not the same as a proper bilateral structure.
Yeah, but NEDLAC's
Let me throw it to my jury. Go, Wayne.
NEDLAC's missing in action. Really, it is so sad to see these sectors supposed to be doing stuff. I mean, business is missing in action here. What we do need when it comes down to small business is supporting small business. We would like to see big business and government say, we will pay small business within 14 days, not even 30. We've got to help these guys. We've got to stimulate the small business economy. We don't see enough happening at the DTI. We get complaints from small business industries, big industries out there with a lot of small players. They're just, the regulations are killing them. They're trying to comply. They're paying all their levies, and the people that are running roughshod over the process are getting away with murder. And nobody's listening to them. Nobody's helping them.
I almost forgot that you said you had one silver lining.
No, I think, well, the silver lining we've got is, I don't know if many people didn't pick up, that Tito Mboweni 6 months ago said e-tolls is here to stay. Did you hear this time? He said, as we try and find the solution, we will try and keep top of mind a user pay scheme. But if a user pay scheme has failed completely, as e-tolls has, you know now they're trying to find a solution. You can't be half pregnant on e-tolls. You're either told or you don't. And so totally.
Look, I like the fact that you referred to what he said 6 months ago, because I can tell you in 6 months' time he won't be there. And the new finance minister may as well take a different line on what it is. And the reality is that in the past 8 budget speeches that we've had 5 different finance ministers delivering them. The next one in October will be delivered by somebody who's very different, because Tito Mboweni is busy tweeting himself out of a job. So the reality is that we cannot be stable as a country.
Is that lack of continuum?
It is remarkably problematic, because imagine for a state-owned enterprise like SAA that says we finally have a workable strategy that we want to present to our political principal. Present to Tito, Tito's out of the office. You then have to find a way to socialize the new minister, explain to him what the issues are, and then say, now that you get it, can we implement it? Only to find out weeks later he's been shuffled somewhere else.
We're good at starting but not at finishing, Ange, it would seem.
I agree. I think continuity is a big problem. So I do understand your points earlier, even just about the languages, this miscoordination, so I do understand. And in terms of how the public receives that, the faith of the public, and also knowing that elections is around the corner. So I think language, clarity, continuity is very important.
If you were throwing tomatoes or confetti, you would choose what?
Tomatoes.
Confetti.
I'm a tomatoes guy.
Tomatoes.
Confetti.
Oh, poor Tito. Well, all things considered, the finance minister has promised we will be on our way back to the plum years. But damson plums do take a long time to bear fruit. As the ancient rhyme has it, he who plants plums plants for his sons. He who plants damsons plants for his grandsons. Well, where are the granddaughters in all of this? Anyway, is this a budget our future can bank on for a good yield, both in the short and in the long term? Time will tell. Thank you for watching.